if it's white, that means it's off mute. You click on
home of the Iinyathi. For this spectacle today between 6-gun real gunnery badges, this is our homegrown Iinyathi. Two teams that desperately to win. Surely it's going to be a fantastic outing for the two teams. The badges earlier won the shot, we have decided to field. Looking forward to that first ball in this hot weather in this London.
Coach, pode ver lá pesados.
Aí, olha.
Aí nas numbers.
Não faz. Check numbers.
Aí nas shit numbers.
Because as long as there's not a check number station, but I know that's
Who won the trust?
Better.
Badgers, and they did what?
E masakan ka ba? Yan ay tuloy ang ham na isa.
And just click on this one and look at it.
It's a gallery.
Then just look at it. Then I'll be able to
Daniel van der Merwe.
That's an excellent delivery by.
Goes to Van Dier, goes on the shorter side. Van Dier tries to lift that, and God takes it beautifully at that far leg.
There you go.
Oh, Alfred rocking. Oh, and what a...
Oi!
This time, he's taken.
Oh, and this time he...
How he goes about it. Daniel Beche and Kim runs down.
And Mazondo
Pulls that.
Just a bit of a background for our teams taking the field. Six-gun hill, Darren Wood Badgers have played 4 games, having lost 2-1-1 with 1 grade-out game. The Iinyathi have lost 2 games against the Popo Tuskers, end of the 10, so they're desperately needing a win this afternoon. Officiating our game today, our umpires will be Bongani Zele, Yanni Erasmus, Ivan van der Berg will be our third umpire, and Lawrence Mendelssohn will be our referee. Sitting in the scorer's box will be Logan Chaka, who will be the manual scorer, Terry Rangers, Mr. Gajo will be the fifth quarter. We have Leah Matuza to be the ball, Thomas Neyman for the Chief Yesus Uma, Fitz Johnny Van Koba, and performance. Looking forward to a very spectacular day today. The sun is setting over Buffalo Park with the two umpires on the field and showing that they're expected of. Also good to see our cricket kids who are doing the God of Honor. Fantastic to see future stars.
Hello, hi. Welcome to Buffalo Park. We've got a game between SWD and the Eastern Cape Iinyathi. Well, both teams, they do need a serious win. Looking at the log, Border is sitting right at the bottom of the log, and SWD on the 5th place. So they are about to take the field now. It's a beautiful weather in East London. Good weather for cricket. Sun is out. Spectators are out. So we've got our umpires as well that will be doing the game for us. Mr. Nchebe and Yani Erasmus. So remember, Southwestern District, they won the toss and elected to bat, bowl. Busy taking field as we speak. Both teams, like I said, they're all looking for a win. First time on the airwaves, and I won't be alone. Mr. Gengesi will be doing the commentary with me.
Thank you for such a lovely introduction, Sir Jack. As you said, we are set for a very enthralling match here between the Eastern Cape Iinyathi and the Six Gun Grill Garden Route Badgers. A crucial match for both teams, only separated by one position on the log. Eastern Cape Iinyathi rooted at the bottom, 3 matches, no wins. Six Gun Grill Garden Route Badgers, 4 matches, 1 win. It's a big game here, and there's a big game feel here at Buffalo Park. Everyone understands what's at stake.
Very big game indeed, Gengesi. See, Jerome is taking guard. All of these border players today, they will have to score, get big runs, make sure that they're taking this game, because I would rather say they're the one that are in desperate for the win more than the other. Much as both teams, they would like to get a win.
Yeah, obviously, as we wait for the first ball to be bowled, yeah. Jerome Bosa calmly defends the first ball of the game. Obviously, the Eastern Cape Iinyathi they need the game a bit more, especially playing in front of a home crowd, home stadium here in East London. You see the players' families have come. They understand the occasion. Very interesting here that Six Gun Grill Garden Route Badgers have started with a spinner in a pretty conventional field. You have deep mid wicket and someone at deep long on actually. Just making sure that they're covering their bases. Jerome Bosa will be looking to have a very fast start. That's what the Eastern Cape Iinyathi have been struggling with in the first 3 games.
Yeah, it's an interesting move we're watching here SWT doing. Starting with the spin bowler. And we've got 2 guys out. No run there. Ball is going out of our left-handed batsman. Yeah, we'll steal 1 there. Guy collecting there at the boundary. They still wanting to adjust and just suss out the pitch.
Eastern Cape Iinyathi, Nathan Ruse. Eastern Cape Iinyathi will be looking to avoid a slow start, as they have been prone to do in the first 3 games. If ever there was a time to fix such things, this is the game. Such a crucial match, and the running between the wickets was something that was heavily scrutinized in the first 3 games, because the Eastern Cape Iinyathi players seemed lethargic at times when running between the wickets. It's something that the other teams have probably spotted, and they're going to be quick to get to the balls, especially when a player is covering when they're running from the boundary. So that's 2 runs in the first over.
Yeah, I like the combination the Iinyathi team is having, left and right combination. Would like to see how Southwestern Districts are going to cope and manage them. Obviously, they're looking to get some wickets early on the power play. Also like that there's one sleep, the third man.
Sintu Majezi to bowl the second over for the 6 gone grill Garden Route Badgers. Majezi, fairly young but fairly experienced, coming in from the Buffalo Park Drive end, facing is Nathan Rue. Oh, looks like it's the first boundary of the day. Worked off the hips, short fine leg, couldn't cover that ball. First boundary for the Eastern Cape Iinyathi. The score moves on to 6. Majezi drifting there, finding himself in that position where he has to bowl to a left-hand, right-hand combination. As you mentioned, Sir Jack, it's going to be interesting to see how he copes with that, how he adjusts his lines and his lengths to the two very different batters.
Yeah, his line must be spot on. Remember, this is a power play and the left and right combination. He needs to know where he's pitching it. Check his second one. That was a thriller. That was cut through the point boundary and it's 4 runs.
It's a very good shot there from Nathan Rue. That ball was actually not very wide. It wasn't an easy ball to cut, but he made sure to make room. He leaned back and carved the ball through the cover and point region for his second 4 in successive deliveries. The score is 10 after 1.2 overs.
That will be wide. He needs to be spot on, Gengesi, because remember, he's been bowling to the right-hander. He hasn't bowled to the left-hander yet, so he needs to hold his line.
Sintu Majezi, perhaps a bit confused. He's bowling lines that would work perfectly if he was bowling to the left-hander. That is Jerome Boza. Let's see how he recovers here. 9 runs off the first 2 balls. Oh, solid. Yeah, it's very important for the Eastern Cape Iinyathi to start with good intent, to lay a solid platform for the players that are coming in next. You don't want your Marco Moraes and your Christopher Gleaves to be coming in with very few overs remaining and the score is still way too low.
That was wide. He's struggling to bowl his lines and length. Maybe Buffalo Park is situated at the coast. The breeze is also not making it easy for Sintu to hold his line. So he's just drifting away, way outside of stump.
Yeah, it's not something that Majezi would want to be doing. It's okay to have a loose now in the first ball, but he's bowled 5 balls, but actually 3 legitimate ones are carved away. There's a very square third man, covers that ball, goes for 1. Now Jerome Boza taking guard, first time that he's going to face Sintu Majezi, and it's interesting, as we were saying, it's interesting to see how Majezi is going to adjust his lines, as he has been struggling with the first 4 balls actually of the over, bowling to Nathan Rue. He has a slip in place, very interesting.
Also short fine for that short ball he bowled, the first one to Rue. So maybe they're protecting him there.
Not a very attacking field from the 6-gun grill Garden Route Badgers.
What I like for a change, East London is known of a rainy place. So, but for a change now, it hasn't rained. So the field is dry, quick outfield. Nice sound of a willow. We should be in for a good game here.
Yeah, it looks like a cracker of an outfield, Sir Jack. Looks like a cracker. You get good value for your shots in this kind of field. You have to credit the head groundsman here at Buffalo Park, Ashley Now. Really reinvented how the Buffalo Park ground has been looked at in the last few years. We've been seeing some high-scoring games here at Buffalo Park, which is kind of going away from the norm. As we reach the end of the second over, the score is 14 for no loss.
Yeah, we have to applaud our groundsmen here all over South Africa, especially here in East London, because we're also getting some international games here. Ladies will come here in November, come play, so that will tell you that really indeed the groundsman is doing a good job. It's interesting enough, they've only bowled one pace. 2 overs of spin. So let's see. And normally, you would anticipate that the top order, or rather the opening batsmen, they would prefer pacers.
Jerome Boza, no feet, loses his wicket. First ball from Liabona Malife, straight through the gate. Jerome Boza doesn't move his feet. No energy in that shot, and he loses his wicket. Eastern Cape Iinyathi are 14 for the loss of 1 wicket.
Yeah, as I was saying, very interesting to see 2 overs of spin, but clearly the Jerome played on the wrong line completely. The ball deceived him, drifted, and outrooted his leg stump. Now see, Malika is replacing him. What I like also, it's a left-hander, maybe just to keep part. Another thing that they're doing right, these guys, Southwestern District, is the matchups.
Yeah, that's true, Sir Jack.
Yeah, Malife would love to bowl to left-handers rather than right-handers. So it's such a good matchup. It also shows you that his last wickets that he got from Jerome is enjoying bowling to left-handers.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how Mncedisi Malika is going to approach this. We know he can be prone to spinners, but he also doesn't want to hang back. He loves that reverse sweep. He pulls it out early on in his innings. It's something that he has in his locker. And right now, the SWD have put a first slip and someone at short third. Calmly defends as Mncedisi Malika. Liabona Malife, 2 balls in, already has success, got a wicket. Jerome Boza, it has to be said, he was struggling in that innings. He only had 2 runs. Oh, Malika survives. He was rushed there by the spin of Malife.
Yeah, maybe he's also going to get some relief now that he's off the strike. And Roo has been there for quite some time, and they will obviously need to have a partnership going here. They must lay a solid foundation during the power play.
Yeah, Malika actually opened the innings in their last game, and Roo came in at 3. So now they have exchanged roles. Now they get the chance to bat together. Jerome Boza obviously didn't last long, so these guys have to reset. As you said, they have to get a partnership going. But this will be hurting the Eastern Cape Iinyathi, the number of dot balls that are being accumulated at the moment, which is something that they were prone to in the first 3 games of the competition as well, and it ended up having to make them play rash shots to look for runs.
Getting a 1 there. End of the over. Yeah, like you just said, Kengesi, one thing I've noticed about the players in general in South Africa, you can't play in a team and you're doing one thing, you must do a couple of jobs. Can bat, can bowl, keep wickets. And you must be able to be bendable. If you're batting down the order, the coach is wanting you to bat up the order.
True.
You must be able to be bendable.
True.
Kyle Jacobs coming back again. Sintu Machiza has been replaced.
Change of ends for Carl Jacobs. Started the match at the Bunkers Hill end. Started the match at the Bunkers Hill end. Now he's bowling at the Buffalo Park Drive end.
You will have to bowl that again.
Interesting enough, he started with the googly, but he obviously missed his line there. First two balls of the over. Nathan Rue hasn't been able to get to the other side. Chooses to go for one, which is sensible cricket, because the last thing they want is to accumulate even more dot balls. It's been some really solid field placements from the Garden Route Badgers so far. We've only seen 2 boundaries in the first 21 balls. Score is 18 for 1. Iinyathi Malika about to face Carl Jacobs for the first time. Once more, this is a matchup Malika doesn't prefer. The off-spinner coming to him as a left-hander. But interesting enough, Jacobs doesn't have a slip in this time.
Ah, that was caught and bowled. Malika giving the ball back to the bowler, losing his wicket. He was not there for so long, but unfortunately he's gone. That is not the start the Iinyathi would have loved.
Oh, said Jack, but it's exactly the start that the 6-gun grill Garden Route Badgers would have been looking for. Iinyathi Malika gone for 1 of 3 balls, didn't last long, chips it back to the bowler. Ball seems to have stuck into the crease there, into the pitch, and Malika just pushed at it, straight back to the bowler. Easiest of catches for Carl Jacobs.
He had made things easier for the bowler. But now the strategy has to change. It's 18 runs for 2. And it's bringing the captain himself into the middle, rather Marco Murray. And it's so unfortunately that these guys, they can't execute their roles. Because you would rather prefer someone like Marco Murray to get a nice platform up front. He's supposed to build a partnership so he can just take over and just flourish. Southwestern Districts, they're on top of their game now. Any coach would love this. 2 wickets in the power play.
Yeah, Carl Jacobs brought back into the attack and immediately doing the business for his captain. First 4 balls of the over, just 1 run and that crucial wicket of Iinyathi Malika, who we know can be destructive once he gets going. But that was the end of him. Brings Marco Murray into the crease. And as you mentioned, Sir Jack, Murray would much rather come in in the middle overs with a platform laid down for him. But the Eastern Cape Iinyathi faithful would hope that Marco Murray will be able to handle himself in this situation, given that he's got so much experience.
Yeah, you don't want to expose him too early in the game. But as a man of his caliber, we know he's capable to dig himself out of his team, rather, out of this situation.
And that ends the over. The score is 19 after 4 overs. Nathan Rue is on 12 of 11. Marco Murray has just come in, has got one of his first 2 balls. 2 overs left in the power play. It'll be interesting to see if Marco Murray and Nathan Rue choose to be conservative, not to lose any more wickets, or they actually choose to attack the bowlers. Because I see now that Sentu Majiza is coming back into the attack. Change of ends for him. Maybe he's going to have better success on the other side. Marco Murray facing him, and he's got a deep backward square and a deep backward point. No one else on the boundary since it's the first 6 overs of the game.
Maybe I've also got a feeling that they might be bringing back Iinyathis into the game, because the spinners they were using, they've done the job. Now they're bringing back again the pace. So it's going to be interesting to see how Marco Murray is going to deal with the guy.
Sorry guys, I don't.
Marco Murray falls straight into the trap. Flicks the ball off his legs, goes straight to the man at deep backward square leg. The Eastern Cape Iinyathi are in deep, deep trouble. Shocking scenes here at Buffalo Park. 6-gun grill Gordon Root Badgers have to be elated with what's going on here. They wouldn't have dreamed of a start like this.
The coach won't be happy with the way they've started. They just need a partnership that will put them in a better place. Jason Niemand is coming to the wicket now. The Southwestern District has done all the damage. Still, they will have to stay composed, stay on top of their game. Listen, there's nothing wrong here. They can still rebuild from this, Genghis. All is important is to have partnerships. If they build working partnerships. But currently, it looks like they've been falling into Southwestern District traps. Whatever they are doing, they're doing right. They change ups, they're working.
Let's see now the Eastern Cape Iinyathi captain Jason Neiman, who actually had the fortune of talking to him, a short Q&A yesterday, and he was giving us insight into the mindset of the Eastern Cape Iinyathi players heading into this game. I'm not sure if it's still the same now, but yesterday when he was talking, he was saying that the mood in the camp was pretty composed, like the players understood that they haven't been properly executing as well as they should have. And there's been a slight change in field. When Marco Murray was batting there, he had a deep backward point and a deep backward square leg, but right now it's just a deep backward square leg and a third man, a regulation third man. Yeah, so as I was saying, Jason Neiman, the Eastern Cape Iinyathi captain, was saying that the mood in the camp was composed. They knew what they had to do. They weren't executing as well as they should have. So it's it's interesting now that it's up to him as the captain, the leader, to actually stir his team out of a situation like this. Now you have two players, a situation that as the Iinyathi you probably wouldn't want. You have two players who have a similar game. So it's the question that they would probably be asking is, how do they move forward from this? How do they go about it? Who's going to be the aggressor? Who's going to be the one that stays in? And Majisa's running in, steaming in actually.
What's nice for the SWD is they've got two new batsmen. So they would like to stay composed. The scores are very low. That's what I mean about new. Because there's no batsman who has set the platform. So the scores are still fairly low. If you are 20 for 3 now, that tells you that there's nothing much the batsmen have done as yet.
Yeah, that's a good point, Sir Jack. Because as much as Nathan Rue has been in there for 13 deliveries now, he hasn't actually become comfortable in the crease. He's still struggling to get himself off strike, to look for runs. So he still has to sit himself and it's going to be interesting to see now that they've got 7 balls left in the power play. Like I said when Marco Murray was coming in, like, do they actually defend to make sure that they don't lose any more wickets, or do they go for it? That's a chance to run 2 runs. Well covered by the player that was standing at deep backward point.
That was a good shot. Back foot punch to end the over. But coming back to what you're saying, Gengesi, all they need to do is make sure they play cautious. Bad ball, you capitalize. There's nothing much to change. Yes, the situation is dire. There's nothing much they can do rather than try to dig themselves out of the situation. All they need to do is they punish the bad balls. And what I like, previous over, now Sindhu was making the players to go forward, the batsmen. Now he has found his groove.
The trusted Carl Jacobs continuing from the Buffalo Park Drive end. Oh, deceives Jason Niemand, but is able to scamper through for 1 run.
And you can also say it was a good toss to win for the Southwestern Districts. Things are happening as per their plans. Jacobs, you driving that one.
Yeah, look, it was a good toss to win for the Southwestern District because things are changing, as we've mentioned before here in commentary. Things are changing at Buffalo Park. Usually you'd want to be defending a total at Buffalo Park, but right now it's not daunting anymore for teams to be chasing. So that's something that's different. It's not hard to score runs in on this ground and on any of the pitches as well.
Actually, I'm wondering also, when are they going to introduce Kaba? Because he's also from this side. He once played for Iinyathi. So he's also going to give Iinyathi some problem today.
Yeah, that's true, Sir Jack. Thomas Kaba is well renowned around these parts. He was a star for the team for the first 2 seasons of the domestic restructure. But currently, we have to say it doesn't look like they're going to need him to come into the attack. The first 3 bowlers have done excellently. Yeah, I think we've got an answer to our question of whether they were going to be cautious or try to throw caution to the wind. So they just intent on seeing out the first power play. Scores 27, run rate is under 6. Takes him on. Brilliant shot over extra cover from Nathan Rue to end the power play for the Eastern Cape Iinyathi. The score is 31 for 3.
Yeah, that was a good shot, Kengesi. He cleared his front foot and the ball set right in the middle for 4.
That's a shot that the Momentum Proteas women captain Laura Wolfart would have been proud of. Speaking of the Momentum Proteas, we saw them yesterday playing their first game of the World Cup, defeating the West Indies by 10 wickets. And it has to be said, Proteas Friday is back. So we should paint the nation green and gold every Friday as we stand behind our Proteas women in the ICC T20 Women's World Cup. Wear your Proteas jersey with pride and show the world our unbeatable spirit, and catch all the action live on Supersport. Hashtag always rising, hashtag Wozanawe. Yeah, so as we were saying, Laura Wolfart would be proud of that shot, and the Eastern Cape Iinyathi would want to see more of that aggression from players like Nathan Rue.
Yeah, we must also say that indeed we do need to support our teams. We must make it a norm to wear our Proteas jerseys on Friday. Tyrese on the other end, flipped off his legs. They're wanting to, and they decided against. Yeah, the Proteas women, they've played very well yesterday, winning convincingly, which I think as a country we should rally behind them. Next game will be England. It's not going to be easy. And remember, when they played here at home, they were the finalists. They were beaten playing finals. We'll get one there. So I also liked the fact that they won convincingly. 10 wickets. And I also was enjoying the partnership between Mlaba and Sinalo Jafta, the communication.
Yeah, a player like Sinalo Jafta has grown in leaps and bounds since the last World Cup last year, where you could have felt that she had a lot to improve on. She's done that, so yeah, we're very proud of her, especially as a player that's coming from the Eastern Cape.
She is so alert behind the stumps, I'll tell you what. I was watching Mlaba's over. You'll get a single there. And what happens was, Mlaba bowled a good ball. The batsman didn't see it. And Mlaba said in Jafta, Ipinde. And then she got a wicket.
And she got a wicket.
And then what also happened after that, there was a caught behind, a fine nick that Jafta picked up.
I saw that.
So really, she is alert behind the stumps. Because if the keeper does not pick up those, that definitely tells you that you can lose lots of wickets easily. And also making those right calls.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned the keepers. Ooh, good take from the keeper there. Yassine Valley, the captain, as the over ends. 7 overs gone. The score is 35 for 3. Nathan Rue is on 22 of 19 balls. Jason Neiman still trying to build his innings. 6 of 9. I was saying that it's interesting that you mentioned the keepers because on the side of the Eastern Cape Iinyathi, with the arrival of Christopher Gleaves, it's very interesting to see how the coach tries to rotate his keeping options between Christopher Gleaves and Ncedisi Malika. So far in the season, we've seen Ncedisi Malika rather taking the keeping gloves, but we'll see how, as the rest of the campaign wears on, how Christopher Gleaves factors into that. But you certainly can't fault his batting because he's been proper, especially in the game that was played here at Buffalo Park. He almost rescued Iinyathi from a very dire situation as the 6-gun grill Gordon Root Badgers introduce Le Fantanzi into the attack. Seam bowler.
See how Uru is going to handle him.
Try to run two. That's better intent from the Eastern Cape Iinyathi batters. Something that you didn't see much of in the first 3 games, running between the wickets with that intensity. It's a very interesting guard that Nathan Root takes. He's almost standing outside of leg stump. Do you?
I also think they do not have a sleeping position. So he's wanting to play as much as possible outside that off stump. See the previous ball where he took the last ball of the power play, that drive. He opened up his front foot and then he drove the ball offside.
Extra cover, yeah.
So that is exactly what he will be wanting to do.
So you can see the intent basically from Nathan Root. Jason Niemand also taking the same guard. That's something we also covered yesterday with him, because we had noticed that he previously had a trigger movement when he was batting, but now into the new season, the trigger movement isn't as stark. You don't see it as much. So we're asking him how he actually came about that decision, how he wanted to change that. He says obviously playing at this level, he doesn't have he feels as if it's more of a distraction to actually move, because when he's doing that trigger movement, his head is moving, so he's not completely still. Seems the umpire, oh no, I thought that was a no ball, but it was signaling to the other umpire that there were 2 balls left. Yeah, so Jason Niemand was talking about that his trigger movement, he feels as if it's actually hindering him right now. So he doesn't do it as much anymore. He chooses to stand still and, just look at the bowler as is coming. So that was something interesting to pick up or to hear from him.
The thing is, also, during off-season, it's time to reflect. So it's good to see that the player is developing himself, because also the use of video analysis, so you can be able to see how you play, how you've been getting out. So during off-season, it's time to rectify that. Hence, if he had a trigger movement before and it was not assisting him, so we had to change it. Because as that ends, it's 40 for 3. I like the discipline also the Southwestern districts are showing. They have thrown 3 extras in 8 overs.
That's proper. And of those 3 extras, there was 2 from Sintu Majiza in his first over when he was still trying to get his bearings correct, and just 1 ball from Kyle Jacobs that drifted down the offside. Otherwise, that's true. They have been well disciplined, as we see Tyrese Carlos carrying on. His first over went for 4.
is wanting to exploit that fifth stump, that the batsman must chase the ball.
Yeah, and it's also throwing Nathan Rue off his game, the fact that the keeper is standing up to a seam bowler. Because now, as you'd understand that Tyrese Carosa, rather, isn't the fastest of bowlers. He doesn't have extreme pace. So a batter of Nathan Rue's quality would actually want to come down the wicket and hit him over. But with the keeper there, he's keeping him honest. He's keeping Nathan Rue honest. So it's a good tactic. It's a good tactic. It's good for a team to have a keeper that has that quality.
I like the way he's bowling, right on the money. He's not giving away anything to the Iinyathi guys.
Yeah, currently the partnership is 22 of 26 balls. Obviously, the Eastern Cape Iinyathi would like that to be slightly higher. But yeah, it's a testament to how well the 6-gun grill Garden Route Badgers bowlers are bowling.
And this has to be the partnership that must work for the home team. Because I think there's two guys that are left, Cleves and de Klerk, that can bat.
Yeah, and Cleves is the player that's more of the Marco Murray mold in terms of like the ability to clear the boundary with ease. So you don't want to expose him too early. If these two guys can bat for another 5 overs, then I think that would be a solid platform for him. Obviously, they'd need to get the run rate to be... Oh! As I was saying that, the commentator's curse on Jason Neiman loses his wicket, the Eastern Cape Iinyathi captain, straight through the gate. Tyrese Carosa, you miss, I hit. As we were saying, he was bowling that honest line, straight at the stumps. Jason Neiman perhaps felt as if he had to maneuver something, he had to work it to the offside, but he missed the line of the ball and it goes straight through his stumps.
Yeah, that went through his defense. That was a great ball. Neiman was defeated there. He scores 8 runs. And now things are not looking good for the home team. As we were saying that they need to rebuild, but nothing is happening, and that brings Cleves into the pitch. He's a boy from Grahamstown, a farm boy. He went to Graham College.
That's interesting.
He went to Graham College, and remember that's where Smarts, John and Kelly went. Such a good school.
The big boys.
Yes. Now that brings in Kaba to the attack.
Oh, it rains, it pours for the Eastern Cape Iinyathi. It doesn't rain, but it pours. After 9 overs.
Yeah, they would want Kaba to finish the game now. And remember, like we said, he's familiar with this ground. He came this side and he got greener pastures.
Yeah, he dominated.
Because if you remember, he's also playing for MI Cape Town. So, which means something big is having. He's turning the ball both directions. Not easy to pick up, coming over the wicket.
Yeah, the positive for the Eastern Cape Iinyathi is that obviously Christopher Cleves scored the fastest 50 of the tournament so far. 50 of 19 balls when he was playing against Limpopo Impalas here in East London. It was in a losing cause, but it showed. It showed the Eastern Cape Iinyathi faithful that there's a lot that Christopher Cleves has to offer. Yeah, so I'm sure there's still hope. But with a player like Thomas Carber in the ranks of the 6-gun grill Garden Route Badgers, it's going to be a tricky situation to navigate.
Sweeps that one, man's underneath.
Oh,
No man's
bisects
land.
the fielders. It bisects the fielders. There was the man at deep backward square leg and the man at deep mid wicket. The ball was swept and it went straight through the fielders, but in that they ended up colliding and it seems like there's an injury. Unfortunate scene for the 6-gun Grill Garden Route Badgers. But conversely, could that be the turning point for the Eastern Cape Iinyathi?
Yeah, it's also wise when the fielders are fielding to communicate. You must nominate. Shows clearly that there was no communication at all there. And hopefully there's nothing much major happened. We would love to see all the players finishing the game.
Yeah, but it seems like both players are gathering their bearings now. It seems like they're gathering their bearings now. And it's also an interesting shot. It's an interesting shot with a deep mid wicket and a deep backward square leg to actually try and hit the ball in that direction. And we will applaud it now because he was able to bisect the fielders. But you tend to wanna point that out because if it had gone straight into the fielder's hands, then you would have questioned his shot selection.
And Kaba is attacking the stumps.
Chance to run two there, runs in. Great running from the Eastern Cape Iinyathi batters. Christopher Gleaves makes his ground fairly easily.
Did you see what I've noticed now here? Kaba is bowling with left hand, but now he was trying to run out a batsman, throwing the ball on his right hand.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't notice that. Oh, that's close. That's close.
Yeah, hence you will see the batsmen, when they can't pick up a spin bowler, they will go to that sweep shot. It's a go-to when you've got no options.
Because you're
Or
not
there's
sure which way
bamboozling
it's going to
them.
turn. All right, I get you, Sir Jack. I understand. You're not sure where the ball's going to turn, so you choose to sweep it. All right. And that's the 50 up for the Eastern Cape Iinyathi. 50 of 63 balls. 50 after 10 overs. Only 4 fours in the first 10 overs of the game. Ten overs gone.
That brings us halfway through the innings. 50 for 4. That is something the home team would not enjoy or watch, or rather like seeing happening. Halfway. If these two can take it deep to the 15th over, that will give the next coming batsman at least some time to try tee off, get some runs on the board. Those dot balls we were talking about, now you can see them that they will bring frustrations as the innings goes by.
Yeah, that run from Nathan Rue brings Christopher Gleaves up to face his first ball. Malife bowling to him. Malife had a great first over, only conceded 2 runs and he got a wicket. It's interesting to see how Christopher Gleaves plays him. Gleaves was also cross-batting the ball straight for 6s in the first game, so seeing Nathan Rue going down for the sweep in the last over, it'll be interesting to see how they go about it now.
And he still has to open his account.
Ooh.
Yeah, taking the outside edge. The batsman is going the other direction and the ball is going the other direction.
But yeah, all batsmen are going to tell you, it doesn't matter how the first run comes, so long as you get it. You want to be off the mark, get the nerves off.
And also what they will tell you, when you see the runs, they don't put
well
in
played.
photos. It doesn't matter how it came. What's important is that the runs were scored, irrespective how, be it the edge or middle of the bat.
It'll be very interesting to see if, I'd like to see, actually, if the Eastern Cape Iinyathi have been able to get runs of 4 successive deliveries. Because the last time I remember that in this game, finds the gap, bisects the gap, stands back, rocks back, actually does Christopher Gleaves, and bisects the gap between dip mid wicket and deep square leg. A welcome boundary. He's on 5 of 2. Didn't take him long to get his first boundary of the day.
And actually we can count how many boundaries they've scored today. It's been quite a few, if not 2.
That's the 5th boundary of the game, Sir Jack. See, as I was saying, they had 3 consecutive deliveries where they were able to score runs, but of the 4th ball, it was a dot ball. So the consistency, another dot ball, the consistency is something that's challenging the team. But 57 for 4 after 11 overs. Christopher Gleaves is on 5 of 4. Nathan Rue, you would actually credit his innings and applaud it if he had someone who was being stable on the other end, or someone who was trying to score at a fast rate, because he's on 36 of 35 balls. He's scored 4 of the 5 boundaries that the Eastern Cape Iinyathi have gotten in this match.
Let's see how he's gonna look after Thomas Kaba.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting game. It's well poised. Oh,
That's the wicket they're looking for. Rue's wicket. Because you would assume that if they get Rue's wicket, they right at the backbone of the Eastern Cape Iinyathi. That one was short. And also,
I feel like he
through
missed
his
out there.
experience, you see, he's bowling to his fielders. That's very important. Just stay composed, on top of your game, bowl to your fielders. Sky that one in the air. Man underneath is gone, taken, down the throat.
Nathan Rue perhaps feeling the pressure, understanding that the Eastern Cape Iinyathi was the only set batsman and he had to take it on. But he never looked like that ball was going to clear the field. Eastern Cape Iinyathi lose a crucial wicket.
Yeah, that's the wicket I was talking about, the big one for Rue. He's gone for 36. Now, the SWD will feel like they're on top of their game now. J. de Klerk, as also we know, is a type of a batsman that been coming under situations. He's having to wax it. So he'll have to pull some strings now. Hit those big shots.
Yeah, it's interesting times here in this CSA T20 knockout match. This is what the crowd was hoping they wouldn't see. Because the message was clear. It said, Wozanawe to the CSA T20 knockout competition. With an essence that ignites hometown pride, the T20 knockout competition promises not just to be pure cricket excellence, but a celebration of communities, shared values, and passion that unites us all. We call all fans to rally behind your team as players gear up to showcase their prowess on the field and stand a chance to win great prizes. Visit www.cricket.co.za for more information. Hashtag Wozanawe. Hashtag be part of it. Jay de Klerk gets off the mark. First ball.
Yeah, there's lots of nice things Cricket South Africa is trying to bring to the field. If you go watch the games, and obvious Division 1 games, you stand a chance of taking a catch. Clean catch, one hand, stand a chance of getting a share in 1 million. So they are trying by all means to bring everyone to the stadiums. And there's also some bursaries, 100,000 to be earned only if you go watch the games. One of Kaba. This is the ideal situation the SWD would love to see now. Cleves is on 6, Jade is on 1. Both failing you on the pitch. Last ball.
Ooh, right gone. Straight through Jay de Klerk. He goes back, but the ball beats him for pace. Thomas Carver beats him, all ends up. Eastern Cape Iinyathi in all sorts of trouble.
Yeah, like I said before, Gengesi, that the introduction of Kaba clearly tells you that they're wanting to destroy now the home team. He's got 2 wickets already. 1 big wicket for Roo. And now Jay de Klerk. And we know he's a type of a player, Jay de Klerk, that can make things happen. That brings Hlatuka to the pitch, and it tells you now things are not looking good for the home team. 59 for 6.
59 for 6 after 12 overs. It's interesting to note that the 6-gun Grill Garden Route Badgers chose to go with a spin-heavy attack. In the Eastern Cape Iinyathi as well, they left out Aphiwe Mnyanda for the debutant, that is Ayabonga Tongo, a leg spinner. So the Iinyathi have 3 spinners in their attack. They have Ayabonga Tongo, Jay de Klerk, and the captain Jason Niemand.
Yeah, that's a good change, judging from the game, because the spin bowlers have dominated the game. So you would want to lose one of your pace bowlers if you're going to play on a pitch like this.
Yeah, you're right when you say that. The spin bowlers have dominated. Even the 1 wicket that Sintu Majiza got off Marco Murray. Yeah, the ball wasn't a particularly good ball. It was drifting down leg. Marco Murray just unfortunately chipped it down to the man at deep backward square leg.
Ah, that was a written hit, me all over it.
Christopher Cleves, not one to wait for a second invitation, rocks back and smashes that ball over deep mid wicket.
Yeah, you can't bowl that to a player like Graves. That ball was short and you can't put no fielder for that. That's a 6.
You have to say it's one of the very few times that a 6-gun Grill Garden Route Badgers bowler has actually missed their length. Does it again. Fares a bit better. They go to Hlatuka's a very fit, very agile player who was always going to make that second run. That's the best way they've started an over for the Eastern Cape Iinyathi since the second over. 8 runs off the first 2 balls.
And we also are aware that this is not a big scoring field. 140 is about par. So not much big scores you will see here. Kyle Jacobs will have to stop bowling short. Like I was saying before, all the other bowlers, they were trying to make the batsmen play forward, go to that front foot. But now he's bowling it short.
He's got 3 balls left in his spell, 2 balls now. Oh,
Overthrows.
Some spice from Kyle Jacobs. But you have to say it's not something that the 6-gun Grail Garden Route Badgers needed. Those are 2 runs for Tobile Hlatuka, a gift, a present. And everyone is perplexed at why he felt like he had to do that, Kyle Jacobs.
Yeah. No, that was needless. That was needless.
Hlatuka facing his second delivery. Goes back, rocks. Goes for 1. Fairly eventful over so far, with 1 ball remaining. Christopher Gleaves taking strike for the last ball of the over, the last ball of Kyle Jacobs' spell. Let's see how it goes. Some spicy stuff happening here at Buffalo Park. Kyle Jacobs, ever the competitor.
And that brings the end of the 13th. 72 runs on the board for 6. Cleaves is on 16. And he has faced 9 balls. Partnership is 13. It's still growing. Hlatuka is on 3. Maybe they would want to take it deep. Maybe around the 17th over, and then they're starting to tee off.
As you said, Sir Jack, past score here is around 140, and the Eastern Cape Iinyathi. It would be a miracle if they got there right now with the number of wickets they have left, the number of risks that they have to take in order to get there. Because you have to think that if they get to 140, it will be, the googly.
What a beauty. Thomas Kaba. You can see he feels himself. He's a senior guy. He's relaxed. He knows exactly what he's wanting to achieve.
Yeah.
He was here with Lemmy Hlatuka at the same time. But one thing I know for sure, he knows that Lemmy couldn't read him.
Oh my
That
lord,
was
he got
a
done.
soft dismissal
He
by
got
Hlatuka, throwing his wicket away. Kaba getting his 3rd scalp. He's trying to finish the game for the Badgers. All that was wide. Even if he had left it, it was going to have no significance. Cleaves is out rather. Hlatuka is still in. And you can see the disappointment as he's walking out, because he was the go-to guy for the home team.
Christopher Gleaves gone for 16 off 11 deliveries, 1-4 and 1-6, and that brings to the crease Chad Clausen. Yeah, Gleaves, there's nothing he could have done there. You could tell from the very first ball of the over that he couldn't pick the googly, and it was done by the googly there as well. Thomas Carber come back into his old stomping ground, still finds his own tramp marks.
Yeah, 72 for 7. That tells you the home team is in big trouble.
We also have to stress how important this game is for the Eastern Cape Iinyathi, also for the Garden Route Badgers, but more so for the Eastern Cape Iinyathi because it's their 4th game, and if they lose, that will be 4 losses from 4, and that more or less effectively takes them out of the competition. And the last 2 matches might as well be dead rubbers. So they will need some sort of miraculous recovery. They will actually, good shot from Clausen.
And now, Kengesi, on the other hand, I am thinking now the Badgers played 5 games.
Yeah, it's the fifth game.
This is their
fifth game
fifth
now.
game.
Yeah.
And now it looks like they're on top of the game. Just thinking, maybe, can't they try to go for a bonus point here? For a big kill to make sure that they redeem themselves on the log. We'll have to recall that one.
Yeah, because currently they are sitting on 5th place in the log with 1 win from 4 games, but unfortunately for them, like one of their games was abandoned, so they've honestly lost 2 games, and they've lost 2 games, 1-1, and 1 match was abandoned, so they've got 6 points. Only 3 points behind the teams. Only 3 points behind the teams in 2nd and 3rd on the log. So it's not hard for them to get there, especially if, as you say, they get a comprehensive win in this game.
Yeah, they'll have to do that before 16th overs.
To get the bonus point.
To get the bonus point. But that will take some doing. It still has to be done. Kapa's last ball. It was well dug out by Hlatuka to end the 14th over rather. 76 runs on the board for 7 wickets.
Some adjustments obviously have to be made by the Eastern Cape Iinyathi Brain Trust right now. When Chad Claassen was coming in, do you think he came in with a specific message from the coaches maybe to try and get to 100 runs at least to get a defendable total?
Listen, I think the message is carrying that just try go and get whatever will be decent for us to defend. Because really it tells you the wicket is not easy to play. It's suiting spin bowlers very well. Very slow.
Yeah, to add to that, the Garden Route Badgers bowlers have been bowling tight lines. It's very rare that you've seen in the 14 overs that have been bowled so far. It's rare that you've seen them bowl something that's way outside of stump or drifting down the leg side that is asking to be punished. And to be fair to the Eastern Cape Iinyathi batters, especially Christopher Gleaves, the 2 balls that were short, the 2 balls that were short, he was able to punish them. So it's something that the Eastern Cape Iinyathi bowlers will be taking into account, because now they're watching and they're telling themselves, okay, they see how the pitch is reacting, and it's going to be interesting to see how early the Eastern Cape Iinyathi captain Jason Niemand brings on his spin bowlers, because we saw a spin bowler as early as the 2nd over from the 6-gun girl Garden Route Badgers. Oh, Hlatuka.
Maybe you might see him opening bowling with a spin bowler. Maybe he Mujahid, because really it's true what you're saying. Much as the situation now is not favoring the batsmen of the home team, now the bowlers need to learn what worked for the Sun Grill SWD. The line and the lengths they've been hitting. You just have to put the ball on the right spot, then the pitch will do the rest. To your spin bowlers, the slower the better. Let the batsman put some pace on the ball. The more the spinners take the pace off, the better for them.
Brilliant shot from Tobile Hlatuka. Just leans away from it. Bypasses the man at short fine leg. Goes for 4. The score moves on to 81 after 14.3 overs. It's a much needed boundary for the Eastern Cape Iinyathi because the dots were starting to accumulate. And the biggest thing about that shot was that it didn't take any risks, so that was good. And I wanted to mention before the start of the over that Sinto Majiza has probably been the one bowler for the 6-gun Grill Garden Route Badgers that hasn't capitalized on the good work that the other bowlers have been doing. It probably says something about the pitch, the state of the pitch, that it really is one that suits. It really is one that suits spin bowlers, because like we said earlier, Majiza did get a wicket, but it was off a very bad ball. It was a ball that was drifting down leg, and Marco Murray lost his head and chipped the ball straight to the player at deep backward square leg. Oh, that's a good line. That's a good line. As we were talking about him, ball's a very good line. Hlatuka ill-advised that shot because he's got no one covering the offside boundary. So as we were saying that they move the fielder standing at cover, he goes down to the deep cover boundary. So Hlatuka will feel like he just missed out there because he chose to be defensive, whereas he should have just tried to carve the ball over the fielders on the offside.
Oh, there was still a run there.
Oh, fine for the keeper.
The 15th over. That was a bye to end the over. 82 for 7. Yeah. We see now there's some caucus in the middle on the strategy that the home team needs to do. And I still maintain anything from 120 upwards will be a bonus for them, because that would mean the SWD will need 6 runs and over, which is something defendable.
True, Sir Jack. Thomas Carver coming in for his last over of his latest visit here at Buffalo Park.
Yeah, he has bowled very well. He's got 3 wickets already. Very economical. 13 runs. And yeah, now we promoted you to a bigger league, so you will have to keep up with the standards.
Yeah, obviously it's every player's dream to play in the SA20. Klaasen.
Yeah, Marco Murray, he once was there for the Capitals. Unfortunately, he didn't get to play and lost his contract there. So it tells you that if you do well, irrespective which division, there's always room for all the players. There's the sweep shot we're talking about. If you can't pick up the spin bowler, that's a go-to option.
Yeah, fortunately for the 6-gun Grill Garden Route Badgers, there was cover there, deep mid-wicket. So the player is able to run through for 1 run. Yeah, Thomas Carver, as we were saying, has been playing here at Buffalo Park and he's got 1 ball left in his spell. 3.5 overs, 16 runs for 3 wickets. That's marvelous stuff from the old campaigner. He loves Buffalo Park.
And I think he's leading this competition now by wickets. He's going over the wicket now. What a beauty.
The googly again to finish his spell. What a wonderful delivery. Chad Klaasen beaten all ends up. Unfortunately, Thomas Carver's so good he also beat the stumps. As we were saying, Thomas Carver loves Buffalo Park. Who else loves Buffalo Park? The Proteas women. So that's why we say Woza nawe to the England Women's Inbound International Tour. Our Proteas women will take on England women in this coming summer for 3 T20 international matches, 3 one-day international matches, Black Day on Sunday, 8 December, and 1 test match from the 15th to the 18th of December. So visit www.cricket.co.za for more information and your tickets. Hashtag Wozanawe, hashtag be part of it. Yeah, so we've got some more action here at Buffalo Park. Tyrese Carrollson coming back into the attack.
Those are good news we're talking about. Cricket coming to Buffalo Park as well. England is going to be playing here. The ladies' side.
The last time we had an England team here was in 2020, the men's team, and we had a thriller of a game that went down to the last ball of the match. Lungingidi managing to keep his calm and take South Africa over. So we're hoping for something equally as enthralling.
And also 2027, South Africa is hosting a World Cup. So Buffalo Park is fortunate to be hosting those games. So hence we're urging everyone out there to come to the fields so that we fill up all these empty spaces we see. That was a late cut there by Klassen. Wanting to.
Oh, he's in
Can
trouble.
they?
Makes his ground, does Chad Clausen. To be fair, the throw from the boundary wasn't a very good one. It made the keeper have to work very, very hard. But that's some good intent from Chad Clausen.
Yeah, but
Puts
that tells
the fielding.
That tells you they are feeling the pressure now. Overs are nearing the end and they must do something. They can't get the boundaries, so they must just run in between the wickets. The ones and twos. Change ones into twos. Tyrese?
Yeah, it's worth noting that Chad Clausen and Tobile Hlatuka are slated as bowling all-rounders. So they're not too shabby with the bat. It's just a case of them probably biding their time before they can actually try and go for the maximums. So now the one thing that they don't want to do is actually the one thing they don't want to do is build up the dot balls.
Yeah, that one was a pace-off one. So he's wanting the pace and is not giving him.
And those ones are the worst for a keeper when you're standing up to a sim bowler and they actually bowl a bouncer. Yeah. Because you saw how the captain there, Yasin Valley, who's also the keeper, you saw how he was looking at his bowler. Shot from Tobile Hlatuka. But he hit the ball so well that it got to the fielder extremely quickly and they didn't get the chance to turn back for 2 as we end the over. 90 for 7 after 17 overs. 3 overs left in the innings, and the Eastern Cape Iinyathi will be looking for something beyond 110.
Yeah, I will tell you what, they must take everything they have now in their tanks, they must take it out. Because they're not going to come back again. Now 3 more overs to go. It's 18 balls. So if it's a runner ball, that will be 108. So they would like to double that. I will see some bowling changing. Lee Fantanzi coming back to the attack. And obviously they would like to tighten the screws. So they're installing long on, long off, cow corner. That was a good one by the umpire there, Mr. Erasmus. Because that ball was right on top of leg stump. Hence he couldn't give that one a wide. Five guys out. Yeah, they won't get time to steal a single one. They would love to turn those ones into two. They need every run out they could get. SWD guys, they've got 5 guys patrolling the boundary. They can only get ones from here. Yeah, he just pierced one that gap. Getting 4 runs there for that ball. You can't bowl to the legs at these crucial times of the innings. That was a nice flick off his pads for 4 runs. Klassen now is starting to catch up with the balls. 11 runs of 10 balls faced. That partnership is slowly but surely growing. 23 runs. It's lovely to see. They're stealing all these singles inside the circle, irrespective if it's going to the fielder or not. They're trying to make ends meet. 4 runs away from 100 runs.
That's an easy 2. Looks like an easy 2. Oh, it's gone.
Yeah, that's the pressure we're talking about. Turning the ones into twos.
It was supposed to be an easy 2. But there was some hesitation. There was a slight hesitation from the 2 batters. And it turned that run into a suicide one.
Thing is, you need to be ready for those. You must back up on the first run so that it makes the second run easy.
Yeah, it's interesting to see in the replays because it was Hlatuka's call. So it would be interesting to see in the replays who actually hesitated first and who made the call not to make the second run and then go for it. Because I believe it was probably Chad Klassen who felt as if the ball was too close and Hlatuka hesitated, and then that brought him to his demise. It's a very hard wicket to lose for the Eastern Cape Iinyathi because the 2 bowling all-rounders were starting to build some momentum. Hlatuka's gone for 14 runs. And that brings to the crease. Nico van Zyl, who's got a great supporter here. His mom came all the way from Gauteng to come watch him. And she says Nico van Zyl is one of the most dedicated people that she's ever seen, she's ever met.
It's lovely to see the support from the parents. Because earlier on, I also spoke to George van Heerden's father. He came from PE to come support.
Oh, George van Heerden has pretty good memories.
Swing and a miss to end the 18th over. 97 for 8.
Yeah, as I was saying, George van Heerden probably has good memories of Buffalo Park because this is where he led the SA and the 19 team to the CSA, to this competition actually, to the trophy in this competition, the CSA T20 knockout competition in 2022. He led there he had a starring role in that team, a team that included some up and coming youngsters now, players like Kwena Parker and Liema Waku of the Western Province, the 2 left arms twins.
That team was unbeaten. They won convincingly, beating all these Division 2 teams. if my memory serves me well, AP was part of the team, Nyanda.
Apua Mnyanda was part of that team, yes. Apua Mnyanda, of course, is playing for the Eastern Cape Iinyathi right now. Missing out on this game. Obviously, the coach choosing to go with the extra spinner. Another youngster in Ayabonga Tongo, 21-year-old Ayabonga Tongo from Dantsane. Oh, good shot from Chad Claassen. Unfortunately, the ball had gone way too high and it wasn't able to bounce over and trickle over into the fence. And the man at deep cover was able to cover that.
I'm looking at Majiza. He's trying to hit the deck very hard. I'm not sure if that will assist him, or maybe since it's tail enders. Let's see how it's gonna go. That one didn't carry. Ah, what a throw, you beauty. There was a direct hit.
Keenan Vieira with a wonderful throw standing at backward point. The hesitation again cost the Eastern Cape Iinyathi the crucial wicket of Chad Claassen, the one man you feel could have changed everything and made them get to that 120 mark. But we have to say that was a wonderful throw from Keenan Vieira.
Yeah, I will tell you one thing. I've always had an issue with the run-outs, because that's the only way of going out. You can always control by yourself. So you can see where the ball has gone, and then the player can make a call, yes or no, or wait. So I always say it's suicide. But yeah, the SWD badges, they right at the backbone of the home team.
The home crowd is going crazy. Despite the scenes, the home crowd is going crazy because Ayabonga Tongo is making his debut. Born and bred in East London, in Mdantsane.
Here his brother was also a spin bowler, as coaching at Hudson.
Yeah, it's a very, very well-renowned cricketing family there in Mdantsane, the Tongos.
And that will be a wide, and that will bring 100 up for the whole team.
Interesting to see how Ayabonga Tongo will develop in this Eastern Cape Iinyathi setup, because growing up he was a middle order batter. Now he's coming in at number 11, so maybe the coach is shielding him, making sure that he has a smooth transition into the professional setup. You see how quick he is between the wickets. Very keen for that second run was Ayabonga Tongo.
And he will have to face his firstborn at the big league.
He'll be telling his grandchildren about this moment. Sintu Majiza bowling to Ayabonga Tongo. Ayabonga Tongo facing his very first ball of professional cricket.
And those are things you remember when you're starting. Your first wicket, runs, all those milestones.
Carves them past point for 4, past backward point as Ayabonga Tongo. First ball doesn't look phased.
Yeah, that was a good shot by Tongo, rocking back, slapping it for 4.
Over backward point. Never gave him a chance. That's why I was asking. That's why I was saying it's quite interesting to see him coming in at number 11, because you don't see a number 11 playing that kind of shot. And Ayabonga Tongo is naturally an aggressive player.
Such a funny player. He's short, but playing big shots.
Oh, look at that. Oh, you'd think that was supposed to be a simple run for the Eastern Cape Iinyathi, but that's something that tends to happen when you see two tail-enders at the crease.
But I would still say, Kengesi, I'm happy with that. Because when that thing is not materializing, it doesn't look good.
I hear you, Sir Jack. So you're saying that
Rather safe than sorry.
rather safe than sorry, because when you try to get that run in and then you get run out,
And remember,
You
this is
don't
a
look good.
last partnership. So anything, if a wicket falls by now, the home team will be out. All
yeah,
out.
you still got 7 balls to come. 7 balls, that a lot could happen in 7 balls.
He's
Sintu
missing now
Majiza
his lines.
continues. Majiza continues to donate to the cause of the Eastern Cape Iinyathi. Interesting to see how many wides he's bowled today. I've counted at least 5.
They've bowled about 8 extras now.
And the majority of them have come from Sintu Majiza.
And it's something that they can control. Then they can steal a 2 there. Easy. Because the fielder came right from the boundary.
Brilliant running from Mayabonga Tongo to end the 19th over. Eastern Cape Iinyathi on their last wicket. Eastern Cape Iinyathi, as we said, they're on their last wicket. And the score isn't where they'd want it to be, but it's a much better situation than they thought they would have been when the score was 77 for 7.
Yeah, but I'm telling you what, the visitors will be happy with the score. Because it looks possible, looks doable. But as I've been saying, it still needs to be done.
Look, it's worth noting that the overs that the Eastern Cape Iinyathi have done well in are the overs that were bowled by seamers. The overs that have been bowled by seamers, and it's interesting now that when the Iinyathi come in, they have 3 seamers in their attack and 3 spin bowlers. So how Coach Tumelo Butibe, the coach of the Eastern Cape Iinyathi, will navigate that.
That was drifting going down leg. Umpire does not like that one.
Erasmus.
Maybe that's one thing the SWT players would like to do, to get the home team all out, get all the wickets. 5 balls to go, 109 for 9.
Things you love to see there. The young Ayabonga Tongo getting his shoelaces tied up by the 6-gun Grill Gordon Root Badgers captain and wicketkeeper Yasin Valley. Sensible cricket from Ayabonga Tongo. It's best to go for the 1 run if the boundary option isn't available, instead of racking up the dot balls. You have to say that he's looked pretty composed
Yeah.
in his 4 balls so far. 7 of 4, with a 4 of his very first ball of professional cricket.
Mistimed that one. He would have rather wanted it on the offside. But also you can't expect Tongo to do much. He's a tail-ender. He must first see the ball in before he works it. But he does not have much time. So
That's
he's just
another chance for 2
rotating the
runs.
strike.
You can sense around the park that the fans wanted that to be 2 runs. Perhaps Nico van Zyl, wary of the runouts that he's seen so far in the innings, and is choosing to go the sensible route by going for 1 run. So you can't really blame him for that, because a wicket right now would mean that they missed out on 3 balls actually. Tries to go again, he heaves it, but it goes straight to the man at deep backward square leg.
They're not timing it very well. You could see they're trying to clear their front foot to give them enough room so they can try to get a boundary.
All right then, last ball of the innings. Ayabonga Tongo facing Tyrese Carosa. Tries one run to end the innings. The score is 114 for 9 after 20 overs. Brilliant stuff.
Big question is that enough by the home team 114? Can they defend it? And also, like we said before, the SWD Badgers would like to maybe get a bonus point on this game because the score is not that much, but only if they use the power play very well. But it remains to be seen.
Yeah, some pretty brilliant bowling from the six-gun Grill Garden Route Badgers. Very intense around the field as well. Good use of the bowlers from Captain Yassine Valley. Understood that the pitch has something to offer for the spinners. And yeah, he did well. His team did well, and the Eastern Cape Iinyathi, it's up to them to respond. They do have quality spin in their attack. The young Ayabonga Tongo, that's something of an X factor for the Eastern Cape Iinyathi because he's a leg spinner, and also there's no footage of him that the six-gun Grill Garden Route batters could have seen of him. Also, Jay de Klerk recently called up to the CSA Academy, so that's some quality spin options. And also, not to overlook the contribution that could come from Chad Clausen and Tobile Tuka, and obviously Nico Fanseo, who up until this game had the best average amongst the bowlers in this competition. So umpires will call the players back after the short innings break, and we'll be back with you after that.
players did ball well, but let's see how they play for the rest of the game. So almost ready to start for the second innings.
camera, this functions, ne? So when you're going in, you're zooming out. When you're going inside like this, you're zooming in.
Okay, so zooming to the right, it's actually going out, and then left is in.
Yes. So, like when the ball gets delivered, you'll be somewhere around here, right? And then you just track the ball, and while still zoom in a little bit.
Stay there.
So if it's a boundary, just go, and then you stay for like 5 seconds. 5 seconds, then you can come and go whether to the bowler or the batsman as well. You see. Then if it's like even a single, you can just pen, go there, stay 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, onto the fielder. Yes. And then just come out and go to the bowler, or put the bowler back, and then when it's turning around, then you can get ready for your shot again. So you always at the inner ring. See where the inner ring is?
Yeah.
So you're always here, so that if you're too zoomed in, then you won't be able to catch the ball in frame. So from here, even the batsman can hit the ball, and you can still be able to move while penning. Got it?
Yeah.
You have the idea of it, ne? It's gonna take like a few overs just to get used to the zoom and all of that.
You will be telling me what to...
It's really good. Very difficult cricket, but the better you go well, but let's see how we go about their English GSA. Change it down to 125. Yes, good buddy. Then Captain moves on with Keenan Vera to kick off the proceedings for the matches.
Hello there again, welcome back. Still here at Buffalo Park. If you've just joined us, the Southwestern District Badgers, they won the toss and elected to bowl. They bowled out the Eastern Cape Iinyathi 114 for 9. Now they are chasing. Nico van Zyl opening the bowling for Iinyathi. That was a great ball, that one, G.
Yeah, Nico van Zyl straight onto the mark with the first ball, doing that good line and length that you don't often see here in T20 cricket. But showing us there that there is still space for it.
It's funny. And when it was a break, we were thinking maybe they might open with a spin bowler, but Van Zyl is hitting the right line on the first ball.
Yeah, runs it down to third man for one. Yeah, I understand the thinking of the Eastern Cape Iinyathi coach and the captain, because Nico van Zyl has been on the mark and has actually not been conceding a lot of runs. So that's why I think that's why they were confident in opening the bowling with him.
Yeah, and also before coming to this game, he was the leading wicket taker alongside with Keba. But now Keba, he got more wickets, so it's a go-to guy for the wickets if the home team needs wickets here. That was a wide one. Erasmus is not happy. He must re-bowl it again.
Yeah, Nico van Zyl. It's interesting to note that the first time he was bowling to the right-hander, the ball drifted down the leg side, so he was actually bowling a line that he would bowl to the left-hander, which is what the SWD are doing. They have a left-hand, right-hand combination.
What a ball.
Yeah, and as we say that, he quickly adjusts. And I guess that's what's going to be important in the second innings as well. Sintu Majezi struggled to adjust quickly to the left-hand, right-hand combination. Let's see how Nico van Zyl does.
I guess you get used in playing in your ground. You get a single there.
Yeah, 4 balls in. Nico van Zyl has bowled 2 Jaffas that have beaten the outside edge of the bat. And it's interesting to see that he has a slip in place. Captain Jason Niemand standing at first slip. Deep backward, square leg, and third man.
No, that was wide. Those are things you don't want to do when you are defending a low target.
Yeah, it's crucial to value every single run that the team is trying to defend. And Nico van Zyl, I guess, isn't immune to the left-hand, right-hand combination curse that every bowler dreads.
Yeah, as I was saying, talking about knowing your ground, I've watched a lot of these Division 1 games. Players coming from the Highveld going to play, for example, St. George's Park. Now, those high catches is too windy. It does not take anyone from the Highveld to take those ones. So, that was in the air for a moment. That was great fielding. It's taken.
Traditionally, you want your best fielder standing at backward point or at point.
Yeah, normally that's where the great John D. Rhodes used to field, and the likes of Herschel Gibbs. Those are your players that are awake. Yeah, now we're seeing now Jade de Klerk coming to the attack. On the power play, we've got 3 spin bowlers. Maybe they might use the full 12 overs. And you mentioned a good point here about Jade de Klerk being called to go to the emerging side. Maybe you still want to indulge on that story for us.
Yeah, off the back of a good season last season for the Eastern Cape Iinyathi, Jade de Klerk, where he was nominated for the Division 2 Player of the Season. So CSA saw it fit that he be invited to the national camp, where he was able to work with the best of the best in the academy. And when he came back, he said he enjoyed that. He felt like he came back with good stripes.
Yeah, I know, that's lovely. Those are good news for the Division 2 games, players rather. Just trying to get underneath that one. Take a single.
Yeah, Jade de Klerk isn't a bowler that gives you much to work on or to work with. So as a batter, you have to work extremely hard to get him away. So that I take it the 6-gun grill batters are gonna find that out.
So there's still chances for the players playing Division 2. Because like we mentioned earlier on about Thomas Kaba. Ah, he's trying to reverse that one. Jade gets his first cup. What a beauty.
Disappointed is the 6-gun grill Garden Route Badgers captain Yassine Valley. Tried to reverse sweep, but it got too far across the line of the ball, missed it, and the umpire Bongani Nchebe adjudges it that it would have gone straight to hit the stumps.
Yeah, that's a start the home team would want to see. Taking wickets on the power play. And that happened just after we were talking about him being selected to the emerging side. Now maybe he's showing his skills there. Whatever he has learned from the camp now is coming here to fruition.
Yeah.
Chris Jacobs to the crease.
Yeah, ideally for that, for the reverse sweep, you want a ball as a left-hander. You want a ball to be outside off stump so that you can work along the line with it. But now it was a bit too straight, and he struggled to deal with that. Did Yassine Valley, and we kind of have an identical situation now, where we had a fast bowler open the bowling for both teams, and then the spin bowler come in and do the job at the other end. And actually, it's the same end that that Carl Jacobs got the first wicket from, the first wicket of the Iinyathi opener. Oh, runs it down perfectly. Nico van Zyl tries to chase.
Looks like the ball won the race. It's 4 runs.
The long, lanky legs of Nico van Zyl were not able to keep that ball in.
Just spotting the disappointment at the bowler. You can see now the Jade is not liking it, because they would like to save each and every single run here. Because if you're defending 114, you don't have to throw runs around. Yeah, that's the end of the second over. Great bowling by Jade. He's got a wicket already on his first over.
Yeah, like we said, pretty identical from the first innings. 10 for 1. Losing a very crucial wicket of the skipper, the captain, Yassine Valley. It'll be interesting to see or they are continuing with Nico van Zyl. I wanted to see if they would follow the game plan of the 6-gun grill garden route badges of having 1 over of seam and then carrying on with spin. But Nico van Zyl is coming in for his second over.
Yeah, but I would assume as well, it might be his last over. You can't bowl him 2 or 3 many, because also your target is rather very low. So we've seen that the pitch is assisting the spin bowlers. On his front foot there. Jade there putting his body on the line. That was a great save, great stop.
Jade de Klerk seems to be on his game. He did well in the first over where he had a brilliant stop that we actually thought was a catch because it came so quick at him. And then in the second over he got the wicket, and right now he just pulled off a brilliant stop.
Van Zyl. Right on the money. Is not giving anything away too easily for the SWD batsmen.
Yeah, you can see that the Eastern Cape Iinyathi players are up for it. You can hear how loud they are on the field, and Nico van Zyl's bowling the tight lines because it was important. It's important. That's what they did in the first innings. They never gave any balls away.
Van Zyl to Jacobs. You can see the players, they're all rallying behind the bowler, trying to support him. And one another thing you will see here, there will be lots of caucuses so that the bowler does not lose himself. He must stay composed. See, Marco Murray is the guy, experienced guy next to him, talking to him ball by ball. Looks like Jade de Klerk is on the game here.
Yeah, that's 4 consecutive deliveries without a run. The score started at 10. It's still 10. It's 4 balls, and you wonder if Carl Jacobs is gonna start feeling the pressure, because that's what happened with some of the Eastern Cape Iinyathi batters.
Van Zyl. Jacobs. Couldn't find Marco Murray there. It almost carried to Marco.
And I mean, the shot is on because the 2 fielders that are supposed to be outside, standing on the boundary, are fine leg and third man. So anything down the ground or through the covers or down the leg side, it's there. It's just a matter of good connection.
Last ball. Trying to defend that one. Finishes on a high. That brings up the end of the third over on the board. It's 10 for 1.
Maiden over from Nico van Zyl. And you can see that that's got the whole team pumped up. But with such a low score, you might like to think that Carl Jacobs is okay with absorbing that pressure and making sure that he goes after the bad balls, because there's no pressure on them to score big.
My lovely equations. To win 105, balls left 102. Jade. Trying to get underneath that ball. He caught him. He caught his second scalp. You can see the player was deceived there by the height. He couldn't pick up the ball. Broke the middle stump out. Great bowling by Jade de Klerk, getting his second scalp. Another one bites the dust.
Vieira's gone. Is gone. Jade de Klerk is on fire here. We spoke about how he seems like he's on his game even on the field. It's a kind of match that's made for him. That's how he's made his name here in the Eastern Cape. In the Eastern Cape Iinyathi setup. He's rescued them from a similar situation. Then it's too early to say, but it's looking good so far for the home team.
But the big question now, Genghis, is this is his second over. Are you going to bowl him through, or you're going to give him another one and then spare one over before he just finishes? Because you can see he's ripping the guys off.
I don't think he's coming back for another over.
I would give him one. Take Van Zyl out. Maybe put Jason to bowl, but also depending on the wind, which side will best suit him.
The reason I'm saying I don't think he's coming back is because they do have the X factor that is Ayabonga Tongo, but Tongo is also is still young. He's still young, and it's very hard to control a leggy. So I think they'll try and consolidate and bowl straight with Chad Clarkson. Smacks it down to the deep mid-wicket boundary for one, gets off the mark straight away.
I see Jade is not happy with his line, because you just bowl a good ball, and then the next ball, you're bowling that short.
Yeah, he sets high standards for himself as Jade de Klerk, which is why he's been so successful so far.
He would rather prefer that. Just try to drag the player on his front foot.
Jacobs is 5 of 9. His boundary options are... Oh.
Yeah, you must know that it's happening when you're hearing the ahs and the oohs. I tell you now, all the spectators at Buffalo Park, they are rallying behind Jade. The way he's bowling is so superb.
Yeah, and he's not allowing him to free up his arms as well, because de Klerk doesn't have any cover on the offside boundary. So he has to bowl straight because he has a deep mid-wicket and a long on. He has to keep bowling straight, and you have to try and see if, as we're talking now,
And he will not go, he's not going to be happy with that. Spoiling his figures, bowling figures. Ball won the race and went for 4 runs to end the 4th over.
Went straight through Christopher Cleves' hands.
Maybe he's so used in wearing gloves, so he can't just adapt as yet.
Yeah, you're right. Jade de Klerk won't like that. Also, but more importantly for the cause of the team, it won't be something that they'll love, because there was only 1 run from that over up to that point. Now it's an easy 4. As you can see, Nico van Zyl is carrying on. So the Eastern Cape Iinyathi going for the jugular from the very beginning.
That's interesting enough. But the thing is, he's not expensive from this end. He's bowling well. Also, Jade is bowling well on the other side. That went too fine. Looks like it's going to beat the 3rd man there. 4 runs.
Van Zyl doesn't look like he's happy with how square the 3rd man fielder was. He would have liked him to be a bit more finer. In a situation where you were defending a high total, you'd be happy with that as a bowler, because you'd say, I managed to get him to nick the ball. But now, when you're defending such a small total, a low total, every run counts.
So now you see how they're making it up. They've got a slip on there, because he squared him off there, off that ball. Yeah, nice line, but that one was just outside of stump. Let's say 4th stump, 5th stump. That one that went for a 4. Hence now they've got a guy at the grabbers there. Looks like Jade.
It's a pretty simple game plan that the Eastern Cape Iinyathi have to follow. It's Keep bowling straight, keep bowling straight, keep bowling straight. Aim for your keeper, aim for your keeper.
I'll tell you what, he got away with that.
You got away with that one.
That was written, hit me all over it.
George van Heerden, the former SA and the 19 skipper, will be very disappointed with himself that he wasn't able to carve that past the covers.
Yeah, he was supposed to cash in on that one. There is no ways you can let that slide.
Chad Claassen warming up for the Eastern Cape Iinyathi. You wonder how long it's going to be until he comes into the attack.
Yeah, that was a fine inside edge.
Yeah, I was looking to trap him LBW there, which is a good option. It's a good option here at Buffalo Park, LBW decisions. And Nico van Zyl doesn't struggle with pitching the ball up.
Van Zyl, Jacobs. And another thing I was going to say, Kengesi, I thought the Iinyathi players maybe were going to use the cutters, but now I'm seeing is going pace on Van Zyl. And it's actually doing the right thing.
Good afternoon, ladies and gents. Oh, good afternoon, gents. Generally short.
Getting underneath that one, 2 bounces for 4.
Ali and Gangster, I think he's you spot on there by doing some bowling some off cutters. I think the guy has done extremely well. Iinyathi has done extremely well earlier on, but I think to slow the pace down, Van Zyl, you were right, Ali. He has to do the cutters so that he can get some of the. He can do that, and he can get some wickets.
Last ball, good point there, Taray.
Look at that.
Went through off his defenses.
Look at that.
What a way to end his over, Nico van Zyl. Great bowling indeed.
The comparison there on the board says that the Eastern Cape Iinyathi were in 22 for 3 after 5 overs. And the 6-gun girl Golden Root Badgers are now 24 for 2.
Yeah, there's no much difference. It's just that the wickets on the Eastern Cape Iinyathi were 3, and then the score was 22. So you could say the game is average.
Yeah, it's finally balanced, it's finally poised. But as we predicted, J. de Klerk is not coming back. Chad Claassen has come into the attack. As much as you want to keep the momentum going, I understand that J. de Klerk might be needed a bit more in the second half of the innings. You have to trust all of your bowlers to do the job for you.
Yeah, a good point we were talking here with Taray. You see, if you're going to bowl pace on here, the batsmen are going to whack you. So now if you take the pace off, the SWT batsmen, they must find it to themselves to put pace on the ball. It must not come to the bat.
Yeah, I think with pace on the ball, you have to be bowling back of the length, not short, not full, but back of the length. Because when you're bowling full at Buffalo Park and you're bowling with pace on, then you are going to travel.
Fine leg out, third man in.
He has a fine leg out and a deep backward square leg, suggesting that he's going to be bowling to the body. He has to keep it tight, that Chad Claassen.
Looks like Mr. Jele is not happy with him. Sorry, Mr. Nchebe. He's running on the wicket. You follow through as you bowl. You must try to go off the track, off the pitch. so that you don't scuff the pitch. Shot. Great bowling there. They're trying to keep the batsmen on the front foot. Nothing short, nothing wide. They're bowling wicket to wicket, which is good.
Yeah, we were fortunate enough to have a chat with Chad Clausen as well yesterday, in the same chat that we were having with Jason Neiman, and he said pressure isn't something that he feels. So I think this is the perfect platform to test that. He said he always plays the game for the enjoyment. He never feels the pressure.
Yeah, they didn't see that guy. They wanted to steal a run there. But you know, when you're defending a low target, you must be alert at all times. Eyes on the ball, never lose the sight of the ball.
Yeah, and I think it's also worth noting that for the 6-gun grill Garden Route badges, not to allow the game to run away from them, to get away from them rather. Because when you are chasing a small total, you sometimes give yourself too many chances.
Yo, that one was high. Sun factor might play. You can see the player there, looks like Marco Murray, had a problem with the sun. Ball was facing to the sun. Unfortunately, he put that one down. It may look as a sitter, but that was not an easy one.
Especially here at Buffalo Park where the wind is unpredictable. It's not like when you're playing in the high felt where the ball goes straight up and straight down. It actually deviates in the air. It swings and it does all sorts of things in the air. So it wasn't hard to pick up for Marco Murray.
Last ball of Shad. I will take a single to close the power play. We are not sure if that will be the turning point of the game. If you are in desperate need for wickets, you cannot afford to drop sitters like that. Even with the caliber of a player he is.
Yeah, I was just about to say that George van Heerden is not the kind of player that you want to give too many opportunities to, especially since he has experience in punishing the Eastern Cape Iinyathi, because the Eastern Cape Iinyathi was one of his victims when he was playing for that under-19 victorious team.
And it was end of the power play. They're introducing Tongo to the bowling attack now. And if you check the Southwestern District, they are 26 for 2 after the power play. And the home team was 31 for 3. Game is dragging a little bit, but the upper hand they've got, the SWT guys, is the wickets.
Yeah, that's why you need to take all the opportunities that you get. But now it's a momentous occasion for the home crowd and for everyone else from the Tongo family, with Ayabonga about to bowl his first ball.
He's going to try the batsman to hit the ball into the wind.
Proper leggy, starts with one that's dragged down.
I know that feeling of itching when you're playing at a higher level. You're itching for your success, for your first wicket. When is it going to come? How is it going to come? But I tell you what, young man, if you hit the right areas, you will reap the rewards.
Oh, brilliant stop from the Eastern Cape Iinyathi captain Jason Niemand at short cover.
What I like about Tongo is not shy to give it a flight, because he must not give them the pace. They must generate the pace themselves. And as I was asking Gengesi, if that drop catch is not going to be the turning point of the game, because you often drop those and the players, they will destroy you.
Yeah, it's something that's reiterated in schoolboy cricket, schoolgirl cricket, age group cricket, I should say, that catches win matches, and it never really changes, especially when you get to that higher level. And you expect younger players to be the ones who make those kinds of mistakes. So the Eastern Cape Iinyathi will be very disappointed that it was someone of the caliber and the experience of Marco Murray that made such a dreadful error.
I like the way he's bowling Tongo, trying to attack the stumps, and the previous ball to that was a googly. So he must still learn to know when to use it and how to use it, because the standard now is not the same as he's used to play with in. What we keep on saying is bowling to his fielders, and that ends the 7th over. On the board is 31 for 2.
A pretty decent first over from Tongo. 5 runs off his first over in professional cricket, rather. Getting ahead of myself there. Another interesting point when it comes to Tongo. Tongo and Ngaba Peter, who's now playing for the Proteas. They grew up together. They were in the same age group, and at a certain point, Tongo was a bit ahead of Ngaba, but obviously Ngaba's trajectory went up extremely high in an extremely short time. So Tongo will be trying to emulate that kind of success.
Yeah, and listen, one thing I like now about our system in South Africa, you can get chances from any division you're playing at. Trying to run him out, just missed the wicket.
A debate there between the bowler and the batter about where the bowler and the fielder, rather, about where Jerome Boza should have directed his throw.
Chad on his second ball, and it looks like he's also trying to hit the wicket hard. But I'll tell you what, if the game goes this way, I don't think SWT will have a problem, because they're taking their singles. It's assisting them. As long as they're not losing wickets at crucial intervals.
Yeah, we mentioned it in the first innings that we'd like to see the stats of the Eastern Cape Iinyathi when it comes to the number of dot balls that they accumulated or that they soaked up in the first innings. That's a much better line. Very small margin. If you're bowling a 4th stump line and you're bowling back of the length, then it's easy for the batter to just open the face of the bat and run the ball down to the 3rd man boundary. But if you're bowling straight to middle stump, then it's hard to do that, and there's fielders in the inner ring covering all of that.
But when are we going to see those slower balls, those cutters? Because you need to play with your variations as well. Chad, Jacobs.
I think, like, if I try to go into the bowler's mind, you want to bowl those cutters, those variations, let's say. You want to bowl those variations if you see that the batters are trying something. Maybe the batter is trying to be aggressive, then you can catch the batter out. But right now, the SWD batters are more conservative. So a cutter they would see coming from a long way away, and then they just play it around the corner. So if the batters were trying to be if the batters were trying to be more aggressive, then the cutters would be a very good option.
Another thing, you must remember that you do not have a luxury of a big score. So you, as a bowler, you must always try to make something happen. You cannot just wait on the batsman to be aggressive or play in a certain way. You must make things happen. You must think. I will tell you about Bumrah after this ball. He ran that one to third man for a single to close off the 8th over. And on the board is 34 for 2. Like I was saying, I was watching Bumrah bowling to a lefty. He kept on changing his line. He was bowling over the wicket, bowling around, up until he got those wickets. So what I'm trying to say is, you must try to think as a bowler. Try to make sure something happens out of nothing. You must think. Tongo to continue.
We mentioned Ayabonga Tongo's local rival when he was growing up, which is Ngaba Peter. Ngaba Peter is playing for the Proteas men right now, and we want you to come watch the Sri Lanka and Pakistan international tour, where our Proteas men will be taking on Sri Lanka for 2 test matches in the full Pakistan tour this summer, with your favorite pink day taking place on Sunday, 22 December, 2 p.m. start. Get your tickets on www.cricket.co.za, #Wozanawe, #be part of it.
You don't want to miss that one, the pink day. If you remember. Unfortunately, no. I do not own one. But after AB's knock, I thought I was going to buy one, but yeah, you got me right now. When I get my first paycheck, I should make sure I'm getting one.
Yeah, you don't want to miss out. It's the festivities there at the Wanderers are something to be marveled at.
Yeah, and also the cause of the pink ball in support of its cancer awareness. So all the money that has been raised there, it's going to those cancer beneficiaries. And also each and every run that is scored, or a six will give you something. So the accumulated runs there, you do get an amount of money for that. That will go to donation. So it's an eventful, can't bowl the Tongo. Just past the fine leg for 4 runs, that one.
Yeah, fine leg was short and Tongo dragged that ball. And George van Heerden quickly capitalized and got an easy 4.
Maybe Tongo, we will need to learn quick and fast. I know he also plays for there's
well
a guy
fielded.
sitting there.
Yeah, it's well fielded by Nathan Rue rather, at sweeper on the offside.
He's playing for Sisonke. And I don't know, his brother is playing for Willows. Maybe it's a norm that in the family you must have those in-house battles. Because in most households you will get one who's favoring Chiefs and one who's favoring Pirates. So we must always fight whenever we meet. Because I know Tongo still plays for Willows, much as his coaching.
Yeah, that brotherhood rivalry, it's something else. 9 overs gone, 42 for 2.
42 runs for 2. The home team must go back to the drawing board of getting wickets. They have been scarce. Nothing is happening at the moment. Yeah, it tells you that the captain is thinking now is going back to his go-to bowler, Jade de Klerk. He's got 2 wickets already. So, and that's what we've been discussing. Should you bowl him through, give him 2 overs? But now the captain says that he's not getting any wickets. So the only guy that got scalps here is Jade.
It was a tough one. I'm sure it wasn't an easy decision to make because for about 2 seconds there, they probably thought that the change to Klaasen was a masterstroke, but unfortunately the catch didn't find any hands.
I would have thought when the Iinyathi guys were batting, the bowlers specifically were supposed to see what worked for the Southwest District. And that's exactly what we need to do. Hitting the right areas. And if it's working, you do not have to change it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that the Iinyathi bowlers have struggled with getting the ball in the right lines. It's just when you're bowling, when you're defending such a low total, there's no room for error. So every time there's a boundary, it's bound to cause panic.
Yeah, they were always going to target that single there. Because remember, there's no guy cutting the ones
on the leg side.
Mid-wicket there. And the plan is to force them to go to that gap and then they nick it to the offside. There's guys that are ready to catch the nicks there. Looks like Jade hurt himself.
Yeah, I was trying to stop that ball from running away to the fielder at the boundary. I just hit him on the hand.
Last ball. They finish the 10th over with a dot ball. Now we are halfway mark. The Eastern Cape Iinyathi were 50 for 4. Now the SWT is 45 for 2. Tight margins. The scores are really very slow to get. You see now Hlatuka looks like he's going back to the attack. And as I was asking Gengesi, you've got the captain himself, when is he going to bowl? Because if you take 3 of them, you've got 12 overs of spin. And that option worked for SWT.
Yeah, that's a pretty hard one because really when we were discussing at the innings break, we thought that Jason Neiman would have bowled by now. He would have put himself on. So I'm actually very surprised that he hasn't put himself onto the attack. But as we'd have it, we have Tomle Hlatuka, the Dalian, old Dalian. Oh, first ball gets hit over. Deep mid-wicket for 6. Pitches back of the length, not enough pace on the delivery. George van Heerden just rocks back and hits him over deep mid-wicket.
And that is 50 up. And you can't do that. As we were saying, maybe the captain was supposed to consider bringing in spin again. That was too short. You can see now the batsmen are happy with the pace That was through the covers for 4 runs.
Yeah, George van Heerden turning on the afterburners, yeah? 1 over deep mid wicket and 1 over deep extra cover.
2 balls, 10 runs.
With every,
How do you like it?
With every run that goes on there, you have to question the decision to actually bowl pace.
Yeah, you see the batsmen, they are attacking him. And the score, like we said, is very little. Maybe he's only going to be given 1 over. So he can go think again. And now you're at 56.
De Klerk has 1 over left. Niemand has 4. He hasn't bowled. Tongo has 2. That's 8 overs. That's 8 overs of spin, but I doubt Tongo is going to come back into the attack. Also, I wanted to ask you now, Sir Jack. Seeing how crucial this game is for the Eastern Cape Iinyathi, because they've played 3 and lost 3. If they lose this game, they're effectively out of the playoffs, of the semi-finals. So, would you have advised bringing in a young, untested 21-year-old leg spinner? As Tobile Hlatuka is smashed through extra cover again, this time by Kyle Jacobs. They've clearly seen him as the bowler to target in this lineup of the Eastern Cape Iinyathi.
He's making things too easy for the opponents. And that brings up 50 runs partnership. Now the SWD guys, they're taking the game away from the home team. And like we said before, they might be just eyeing for that bonus point. If they finish before the 16th over, they will get the bonus point easily. Hlatuka.
Interesting to see how the trajectory of the game has changed within the space of 6 balls. 62 for 2 after 11 overs. So going back to my question, Sir Jack, of knowing that you're in a very crucial game, it's a do or die match, but you do introduce an untested 21-year-old leg spin, which is probably the hardest trade in the cricket game. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I hear you, G. For me, it's changed ends now, coming to the other side. For me, I would, and remember, we must play the situations. If the situation is demanding for us to play spin, so let it be. So, and also the good thing about it, all the new players, these guys don't have info about, so they must still try get information about the player, but it's fairly new.
Yeah, I guess it's a situation of I guess it's a case of if it works, then it's a master stroke, but if it doesn't work, then what kind of decision were you making? Those are the questions that are going to be asked. But certainly, Tongo hasn't done badly in this game. He's bowled well. He's actually gone for 14, so that's 6 runs and over.
Yeah, compared to Hlatuka, 1 over 17. They smoked him proper. And hence I was saying, these guys, they know each other, because Hlatuka has been playing on this league for quite some time. So now for a newbie to come play here, you must still get some info about him, still learn him. And he's doing the same thing that Ngaba was doing. He's a leggy. In the air, anyone underneath it?
Oh my lord, Nico van Zyl drops the catch, running in from cow corner. denies Ayabonga Tongo the opportunity to get his first wicket in professional cricket. Another dropped catch from the Eastern Cape Iinyathi players.
This reminds me of yesterday's game. The Poland guys, they dropped a lot of catches yesterday. But fortunately, they did win the game. But let's say it, their fielding was pathetic. It was not on for that level. Division 1, you can't be dropping sitters like that. It was a game that was decided on a super over, and the Knights scored only one, losing 2 wickets. So they've done that easily.
How would you rate that catch, Sir Jack? The one that was just dropped here? On a difficulty level of 1 to 10, in your opinion?
That brings the end of the 12th over. I'll tell you what, Kengesi. Let's face the reality. We're playing at the coast. So the wind is playing a big factor. It's not going to be easy to catch high balls. You see that one, it was hit high, very high. So it was not going to be easy anytime.
Yeah, and it's also worth noting that was Chad Claassen. I beg your pardon. It wasn't Nico van Zyl. It was Chad Claassen, and Chad Claassen has been playing his cricket in the Highveld for basically his entire career. So he's not quite used to the balls down here in the coast. So it's a big factor. It's something that other people might not consider, but it's a big factor.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of also you must try to adapt quickly as possible.
As is coming back onto the attack, Chad Claassen bowling to George van Heerden. Hits the deck hard, straight. SWD are in a position where they don't have to rush themselves right now.
Yeah, it's commanding. Jacobs is 30, Van Heerden is 30. So both batsmen, they are well in the game. Even if they lose one, you still have one informed batsman.
And how important is it, Sir Jack, to have two batters that are not playing in the same style? For example, having George van Heerden trying to be the more aggressive batter, and then Carl Jacobs nudging the ball around, controlling the innings.
Yeah, you will always get that, G. Your players won't have the same style, all of them. And that's what makes cricket interesting. So you're trying to put in all these players with different backgrounds that will give you a nice taste of what you're wanting to see. That was a bouncer. Took it off his head for 4 runs. You can't bowl there, Chad Claassen.
Something you need to ask yourself whether you should be bowling the bouncer with fine leg inside the circle and deep backward square, not being backward, actually being in front of square, and bowling a bouncer like that.
Yes, those are good questions to ask. You must bowl to your fielders. Because you can see that was intentional, that was directed.
The reason I was asking the previous question, Sir Jack, of having two players that are going to play a different style, like how important it is, I guess I was trying to get to the point where when we were watching the Eastern Cape Iinyathi players batting, they didn't get the chance to have two players of the opposite style playing because they lost them in quick succession. And we found them in a situation where we had Jason Niemand and Nathan Roux with the longest partnership of the innings, and they were playing a similar style. Neither of them was aggressive.
Short.
Marco Murray was covering there on the long off boundary.
It's a pity we didn't use that to our advantage, because we had left and right combinations. We've got guys that run well in between the wickets. Under any normal circumstances, if you use that right, it will work for you. It will pay off. Last ball, Chad. You will have to bowl that again.
The drop off in decibel levels is noticeable on the players on the field. Not as loud as they were in the first 3 overs, first 4 overs. And I guess a dropped catch or two can do that to a team.
Bowling again his last ball. And he got away with that. That was outside off stump to close the 13th. Now
42.
the equation, yeah, it's 42 of 42. Duckworth Lewis, which is not going to affect us. The pass score is 73. No rain prediction, so we should be good. Yeah, the game is slowly but surely drifting away from the home team. 13 overs gone, 73 for 2.
The Iinyathi men have another game coming up here on Wednesday against the Eastern Storm. After that, it's the Iinyathi women. And some exciting things happening in the women's space right now in terms of cricket. We understand that Cricket South Africa and Hollywood Bets are excited to bring you the Hollywood Bets Pro Series Women's Professional League made up of the Hollywood Bets Pro 50 and the Hollywood Bets Pro 20 starting Friday, 4th of October, 2024. For more information, visit www.cricket.co.za. It's hashtag, it's our time, hashtag Wazanawe.
Yeah, things are happening for our women's cricket now. We've seen things are changing. Now there's also nice contracts involved where they're also getting money. And also Hollywood Bet, they also just chipped in to sponsor the whole league. So those are good news happening to Cricket South Africa.
Yeah, that's true, Sir Jack. The Eastern Cape Iinyathi women also recently lost a player to the Lions in Division 1. It's good for the region as well to see that we are producing players that are good enough to play in Division 1. Liema Chubati plying her trade now up north. And she's not the only one. We've had a few players leave the East London shores and go on to play for the teams in the Division 1. Kwanga Pinini is one of them.
Yeah, we've always generated players, Kengesi, from this side of the country. Ayabonga Kaka is now in Dubai playing there at the World Cup. He's coming from this side, from Alice.
Yeah. Picked up over cow is Ayabonga Tongo. Jacobs tearing into the Iinyathi attack. Sir Jack, your equation of 16 overs is starting to look like a reality right now.
Yeah, I'm telling you, G, SWD are indeed going to eye that bonus point. It is possible they've got nothing to lose, lots of wicket in hand, so all they do is get about 6-8 runs and over, then they're done.
Yeah, Ayabonga Tongo perhaps bowling a bit too short, too full there. And Jacobs wasn't going to miss out, especially since he's been in the crease for 44 balls. Let's see how he responds. Drag line back. Jacobs sensibly plays it down for 1 run.
Yeah, that concludes the 14th over. On the board, it's 83 runs for 2.
2 overs left, Sir Jack, to get 32 runs. Do you think it's possible?
It is possible. And like we said, they've got nothing to lose. Only now the captain is bringing him back on the attack. We're not sure if it's rather too late, but we'll see what the outcome will be.
It would be interesting to find out how Jason Niemand, the Eastern Cape Iinyathi captain, came to this decision of only bowling himself with 6 overs left rather. Because you would have liked to think that Ayabonga Tongo was the third option in that spin bowling trident.
There's a catch.
And he's dropped.
That was dropped. The captain brought in his charm there, his lucky charm. What we've been talking about. Drop the pace so that you can get more wickets. That was Jason's first ball.
Yeah, Marco Murray decided to do the heroic thing there. Allow the ball to come back onto the field and jump over himself. It was a very hard one to catch.
And in all honesty, I would have loved to see Jason opening bowling on this game.
Oh, it
Yeah,
takes
they're
him
trying to attack
again.
him.
This time it goes over the fielder for 6 over long on. Jacobs fast forwarding himself closer to his 50.
Can we go back to your question, Gengesi, about the bonus point? If they're going to chase it or not? How's things looking like now?
It's looking very, very likely. Jacobs has turned on the afterburners, yeah, joining George van Heerden in the onslaught. And then very sensibly plays it down for 1 to the player at deep mid-wicket. Captain Jason Niemand. His first over. 4 balls in, 9 runs. Let's see if he can make a comeback here. Takes him on again. Goes for 6 over long off. George van Heerden trying to end this game quickly. And to your point, Sir Jack, they're chasing that bonus point victory.
Yeah, and also, I think there's nothing wrong with Jason bowling, but the only problem is the time he's bowling now. It was going to be easier for him bowling during the power play. Now the guys are taking him
again. An even bigger 6 to get to his 50. George van Heerden loves Buffalo Park, loves slaying the Eastern Cape Iinyathi.
Yeah, I see his old pops is happy to see his son doing wonders here. He came down to support his son. That brings 100 up for Southwestern District Badgers. It's even more possible now, very close.
We've mentioned it before. George van Heerden had a wonderful 2-day tournament here for the SA and the 19 team. And he slayed the Iinyathi on that day, and he's continuing that trend once more. 50 of 31 balls, 4 4s and 3 6s, well supported by Kyle Jacobs. Jade de Klerk comes back into the attack, trying to salvage the situation for the Iinyathi.
No much damage they will do now. Because like I was saying, should have bowled at the power play where the ball is still new and hard, where it's going to skid to the player, to the batsman. It was going to make a difference, but now the ball is old and the players have been there for quite some time. Getting underneath that one.
George van
Looks
Heerden.
A biggie. 6 runs there. It was always written hit me all over it.
Straight as an arrow. Taking no prisoners as George van Heerden doesn't care who's bowling. You've seen that most of the time batters choose to respect Jade de Klerk, but this time Van Heerden is saying he's not taking any prisoners. The score is 111 for 2. They need 4 more runs to win this match.
It's going to the wire now. They one blow away. And remember, there was a drop catch by Marco Murray earlier on. And we asked a question if that would be the turning point of the game.
And they never lost another wicket after that. And then another dropped catch, and they didn't lose another wicket after that. So lots of things to rue here for the Eastern Cape Iinyathi. Have to go back to the drawing board. And the ill-advised bowling options of using too many fast bowlers and not really taking off the pace.
But one thing I must comment about the SWD is the eagerness of wanting to win.
Ooh, tries the lap. Goes past the keeper, and they go scamper through for 1.
Because this will be their second bonus point they will be getting on this competition. That tells you if they win big and good.
Yeah, SWD setting themselves up for a nice finish with the last game of the tournament for them, of the league stage. And that's how they end the match in comprehensive fashion. SWD, George van Heerden leading from the front, 59 of 34 balls. Kyle Jacobs, 47 of 50 balls. A brilliant partnership brings us to the end of this match.
Yeah, that was a good game by the visitors. They stayed composed throughout the game. Maybe the home team would like to go to the drawing board and check what went wrong. Maybe it might be the way they were mixing their players. Like instead of playing spin, they bowl a quick bowler. So those are the little margins that makes a lot of difference.
Yeah, those are questions that need to be asked, because for the first 2 overs, they followed the game plan of the SWD team when they were bowling, and it worked perfectly. But then you saw that the Eastern Cape Iinyathi captain chose to continue with the pace bowling of Nico van Zyl. So those questions you need to ask. But effectively, the tournament is over for the Eastern Cape Iinyathi right now.
Yeah, no, whatever is happening is more like a dead rubber. But nonetheless, they're playing again next week, Wednesday, with the Easterns. Van Heerden had some party today. He scored 59 runs, 52 minutes, 34 balls. That was quick.
Yeah, it's a pretty good candidate for player of the match is George van Heerden. And that's how we will leave you folks. And hopefully we'll see you again on Wednesday for another coverage of the CSA T20 knockout competition. Thank you.